What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Marc Agnifilio, you are making sure that you put every penny Diddy paid you to good use. Y'all, Diddy's legal team is out here scratching and surviving, trying to get Diddy's redemption arc solidified in our minds. Baby, you know Marc Agnifilio had the nerve to come here and say Diddy got a standing ovation? Baby, not from the victims. Not even from the culture. Not from the general public who are somewhere between disgusted and traumatized. No, Diddy got applause from inmates in the courthouse jail because that's where we are now, y'all. That's where we are. That's the level of spiritual delusion that we're dealing with. Diddy's lawyer, Marc Agnifilio, told the press with a straight face, Marc Agnifilio. I told him, Diddy, Sean Combs, maybe it's your faith in life to be the guy who wins. And said the inmate stood up and told Diddy, we never get to see anyone who beats the government here. First of all, sir, Diddy, Sean Combs, you were not cleared. You were convicted on 2 serious federal sex trafficking crimes. Now, let me just say this. Would I hope that it would have been all 5? Absolutely. But the fact that we are now just acting like this mofo just skated away, y'all, let's get into this. Again, Diddy wasn't cleared. But you never know it from the way his lawyers and all his pandering peons are parading around like they just unlocked a new pope. They're desperately trying to write a redemption arc, casting Diddy as some misunderstood icon who rose above false allegations and rallied the support of who? A jailhouse gallery? A bunch of supporters with bad breath with bad breath, cheap grills, and their own domestic violence cases that they have coming up? Okay, baby, in the real world, most people with sense were furious. Survivors are horrified. Even the culture that used to protect them is quiet. But Diddy's team, they found 5 claps in the holding cell and said, look, everyone, people still love him. It's giving PR hallucination. It's giving, maybe the real jury was the friends we made in jail. It's giving cosplaying innocence for sports. But here's the thing. This wasn't a clean win. No matter what was it a total win? No. Was it the win I wanted to see? Well, if y'all watch my channel, y'all already know the answer to that. However, this wasn't a clean win. It wasn't even a soft landing. You guys, this was a partial conviction on federal SMEX crimes under a law tied directly to modern trafficking enforcement. And Diddy could still face up to 20 years in prison. So before they sell you the fairy tale, allow me to have a moment of your time, because I'm going to talk about what really happened. Baby, first of all, this is the law that Diddy or that jury couldn't dodge. Let's start with the law, the Mann Act. Now, people hear that name and assume it's some dusty old rule from the horse and buggy era. And they're not wrong. Believe it or not, this law was first written in 1910. But don't let the age fool you. The Mann Act is still one of the main tools the federal government uses to persecute sex trafficking in modern cases. Now, here's why. If prosecutors can't prove force or fraud, they go after movement. All they need to show is that you transported someone across state lines for the purposes of sex work or exploitation. And that's exactly what Diddy was convicted of, twice. Same law they used against Epstein. Same law they used to bring down R. Kelly. And now the same law they are going to use to bring back down Diddy. Y'all, this is no matter what his supporters try to say. This is not some technicality. It's not a slap on the wrist. It is a trafficking adjacent conviction, rooted in the exact same legal framework used to take down sexual predators who who know how to hide behind fame and cash. And yet his lawyers are out here spinning it like it's some win, like they can escape the fire. Yes, you beat that RICO, but here's the thing. We all saw what Diddy did to Jane, and let's be real. Diddy don't change his habits. He knew he was under federal investigation. He knew he was under surveillance. He knew he might have gone to jail for the rest of his life. And what did he choose to do? Hire an escort. And what did he choose to do? Beat Jane to a pulp. And what did he choose to do? Try to run and hide from it. Baby, people don't change that much. That type of depravity is in your heart. But I will say one thing. If Diddy really did change, he better thank his lucky stars. Because if he didn't, and this was just his fame and money getting over on each other, getting over on people, guess what that means? The next time you arrange a freak off, the next time you do something wrong, the next time any victim speaks out, baby, they have you dead to rights. Consider this the foundation in what may actually put him away. Again, Diddy's lawyers are acting like they escaped the fire. Okay, nah, but it's more like Diddy just got burned on a lower floor. Because here's what they won't say out loud. All the Diddy apologists, all the Diddy supporters, everybody fighting for the right to be a DV, an unequivocal domestic violence abuser. This wasn't the plan. There were real rumors inside the industry that Diddy and his team were banking on a full acquittal. Not just for legal reasons, but for optics, a public comeback. A Hulu docu-series, a fake redemption rollout with healing language and new age spiritual jargon. They were ready to frame this as a prosecution of a black mogul, instead of what it actually was, a system finally catching up to a man who's been accused of abusing people behind the scenes for decades. But that all crumbled the second those two Mann Act convictions came in. Because you just can't slap a robe, put on some robe, and quote Maya Angelou when your name is now federally attached to Smex crimes. And let's be honest, Diddy's name has been whispered in the darkest corners in the industry for years. And the only reason he's not buried under more serious charges is because half the people around him would go down with them. Baby, they're not protecting him. The industry is protecting themselves. So back to the inmates applauding. It sounds surreal, right? Okay, I admit it. It does sound surreal because it is. Marc Agnifilio told the New York Post that inmates stood and said, "We never get to see anyone who beats the government." Let that translate for you. What they meant was, we never get to see anyone rich enough to beat this system. They weren't cheering for Diddy the man. They were clapping for the fantasy that one day they too might have the kind of money, power, and legal protection that lets you walk into federal court with how many was on the jury list? With over 36 witnesses accusing you of rape, assault, trafficking, forced labor, you name it, accusing you of everything, and you still come out with a smirk. Those applause wasn't for justice. It was hopelessness with rhythm. And as for Marc and his legal team, of course they're celebrating. But let's not pretend it's because they believe in Diddy's innocence. Let's be real. Marc Agnifilio would never let Diddy within 5 miles of his family. You will never catch him letting his daughter intern at Bad Boy. You will never see his kids at a Ciroc-sponsored brunch. They're not releasing Diddy. They're just sending him back into our communities. Because for them, this is just another client, another press win, another notch on their Wall Street resume, legal belt, antics, whatever. They don't have to live with the consequences of what they did. We do. And here's what they're really trying to distract from. Diddy's not done yet. Those 2 Mann Act convictions, they're not light. Each one carries the possibility of up to 10 years in federal prison. And according to legal analysis, The judge could easily sentence him for up to 20 years total with no chance for appeal. Each one carries the possibility of 10 years. This isn't some minor probation situation. This man could very realistically be sentenced before the year is over and sent away for a very long time. So, while Diddy's lawyers are out here staging moral victory parades, the clock is ticking. And the judge hasn't forgotten that what this trial revealed. Even without a full racketeering conviction, the allegations, the evidence, the pattern, it's all on record now. The man who spent decades allegedly building a trafficking empire out of celebrity, silence, and fear just got legally stamped. Come on now, because we love to see it. He just got legally stamped as someone who moved women for commercial smacks across state lines. That's not a win. That's a prelude to sentencing. And if there's any justice left, Diddy won't be getting standing ovations for much longer. Now clock that T. Anyway, you guys, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to try to go live later on tonight. If not, you can expect a Monday morning live because, baby, this isn't it. And now that it's time, we've had time to let it sink in, baby, we are going to talk about it. All right, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.